This is our 1969 Honda cb750 we're putting back together. We got a basket case, and today what I'm doing is cleaning the carburetors. I started a little bit. I took these off, the slides off. You know, this was together. I took the slides off. I labeled them, and they don't look too bad. I don't think these need to go in any order, but I was looking on the inside of these, and this one says 153 star 25. I don't think you can see that. This one says 154 star 25. This one says 153 star 25. And the last one says, whatever it is, 154 star 25. So it looks like there's two sets. I don't know what that number means, if it means anything, but these need to be clean. I don't even know if this is any good. This is kind of rough right here. This needs to be clean. That just is pretty. Anyway, seems to work, but that needs to be clean. Okay, I popped one of these off. I think, yeah, this is one. Goes like this. This is cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have some buckets here. One, two, three, four. We'll keep that in. But I popped one off. This is kind of, I've done a Honda cb350F before. Kind of similar, you know, kind of similar. But these just pop off. Yeah, I know what I say. Let's do number 4 first. These pop off like that. This comes off. This is the one I took off. And not too bad, I didn't think. Not too bad at all. I don't know, maybe I can get a little closer and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know, but that's number 4. But that looks, yeah, it looks like it could use a cleaning. But that's not too bad. Put that in there. Let's get this pin out. Usually this pin just kind of pushes out. Should be able to just pull that pin out, which I can't. So we'll get a little pair of pliers and be kind of careful. It just pulls out. Needs cleaning. It's kind of rough. These need cleaning. Don't hear anything. I wouldn't expect to hear anything. But we'll test those a little bit. Somehow, some way. I ordered some kits. This gasket. Needle valve. needs cleaning. Get over there. Now there's a little spring in here. Probably needs replacing. And then we have the different, there's the needle valve went, we have the main jet. What is this, the idle? I don't know what that is. What I like to use are these gun screwdriver kit. So you take these, and you can fit these in, and they fit in tight, and they're what they call hollow ground. I don't know if you can see that, but they're hollow ground, so you don't, so when you take that off, they don't mar anything. So let's see if I can take this and take this. I put this way, maybe, I don't know if that'll help. Let's go. There. And on here, you have to choke. I think that'll seem to work. Working on that one, but a little stiff. Obviously needs cleaning. So we'll take that. Let's take these out, see what they look like. Let's take this big one out first. That didn't take much pressure. It looks pretty clean. This says, like I can see it, that says I believe it says 130. I can tell this has been taken out before, so somebody must have with the wrong screwdriver and tried to clean these before. Let's say 130, 190. Or 180. It might say, I don't know. Yeah, not in focus. Not in focus, not in focus. I wonder if anybody, I don't know, I don't think it's in focus, but anyway, I think it says 190. All right, put that in the box. Let's put this here. What's this? Looks like somebody took this out. And now, see, I can't get this in here. So, try the smaller one. Ooh, that feels pretty good. So take this. It might be too big, too wide. These have numbers on them, so, better. So we take this. And again, it seems like somebody's taken this apart before. It looks pretty clean. Put that in there. Should take this out. It looks like is it a 10? Yeah. Take this out. That came out a little bit tight. Now there's a little washer on there, so don't lose that, but we'll replace it. That looks pretty rough. All right, put that in there. Put that in there. All right, there's, oh no, what do we have here? We have, this is the idle. That sets the idle. You can see in there, I don't know how to do this. You can see there, you move that in, there's a little goes, what it does is it hits that and it raises and lowers that. So let's take that out now. I'm sure this has a spring in it. Let's not lose the spring, so we'll take this out. That looks pretty rough. What else? I don't want to, well, I don't want to take these apart, but I'm looking here and I think I'm gonna have to take these, at least these two end ones up, because to get this out, it hits the other carburetor. I'm sure I'm not gonna be able to get that out, or this one out, now that I'm looking at it, so I might have to take these out, which I don't want to do. But that looks pretty clean. I'm a little bit happy about that one. So that one looks good. I'm looking at this. And I don't know if you can see this. I just noticed this. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know if this is right, but where am I? I can see that. That is not, I don't know. I would think that's not good. What's the bottom look like? Bottom's the same way. Bottom's worse. About the same. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. I doubt it. I think that's bent. How can you bend that though? There's a will, there's a way. So we're gonna have to do some investigating there. This is the coolest little magnifying glass. My sister gave me this. It has like lights on it, LEDs. Is that the coolest? Anyway, okay. I digress. So, now we got problems. What you have to be careful also is you see these feet. These are not very strong. They will break. So if you're not, you got to be a little bit on the careful side. But see those feet right there? This one, they will break. You can't bang those at all. These look a little bit heavier duty than my 350F, but maybe not. Maybe I'm dreaming. But be careful. So I don't know what I'm going to do about taking these apart. Let's try the other. Let's try number 2. Well, really number 3. So this is 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, take this. Be careful with the feet. That pops out. Ah, no, that one's not quite as pretty. So, got a little bit of gunk in there. Clean that out. Oh, look at this. That's sticky. All right, that is nice. I'm gonna flip this around. Let's see if I can't do this. Let's try something. This. I could take a punch. Let's try this. That didn't work too well. Here's a pretty tiny little punch. Now this is where you have to be careful not to break these legs. Hit this hard. I want to, since I started this way. Wow. Think I can break this? All right. Wow, that's in there good. Very corroded. Very. Okay. And this pops out. Let's take a look at this. There's a dent right there. It's a little bent. Uh-oh. I hear liquid. Surprises me a little bit, so that's a big problem. That's not good at all. I don't know how to fix that. Let's go back to number 1 or 4, whatever. This is, that one doesn't have any, this one does. Ah! This just feels like it's imploded a little bit right there. That's corroded right there. Well, man. Well, anyway, gotta figure that one out. Don't know. This is dirty. Let's flip this around. So far, I didn't break them. All right, let's get this. Should fit this. Wait, yeah, perfect. You can tell that it's. My guess is probably since somebody probably could clean this, get to it. They probably cleaned this. I bet you that one is going to be cleaner too. That's all plugged up. There's no, you know, if these aren't plugged, you can see a light through them. There's no light. So that needs to get cleaned. Heavy duty. So let's take this, switch this out. This is a 17. This one's a 90. Like I know the difference. 90. This is 70, 17. I don't know what the difference is, but this one seems to fit this. Yeah, look at this. This comes out. I kind of thought there's a little jet. You can switch this jet. This one says, like I can read it. Can't read it. But now, how do you get this out? Is that a 10? No. Let's get this out first. Pretty dirty. Let's get this out. Pretty dirty. Now, what's that? Maybe that's an 8. Let's see if we can't figure it out. Yeah. 8mm. Ooh, pretty tight. See, there's holes in there. They're all gunked up. Obviously, this is a big hole there. It's not gunked up, but get new. These are pretty dried. I suppose you could soak that in something, but I'm not. I think I've got to order some kits because I kind of figured. All right. Let's take this out. And I am keeping these in their own bins. But you know what? I think for a carburetor, I don't think that matters at all. There's some O-rings on in between here and here. So I'm going to have to take this apart. We can't get this out without taking this. I'm going to have to check, why is this bent? I'm going to check the motor. Hold on, let me check the motor. Well, you really can't because it's at an angle. But I doubt if that's supposed to be bent. You better talk to somebody about that. Okay, be careful with the feet. Because what you can do, like here, like if you drop it like this, those feet are gonna hit, so just be careful. Does it sound like I've broken some before? Okay, let's do number 2. Cylinder 2, I should say. Pops up. Not too bad. Still needs cleaning. It's bent there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's bent. This is stuck. Let's see if we can't beat this out. Well, I don't think there's a way you have to do this. Go. Still dirty. It's a lot easier. No water. See, this is not corroded like that other one, and that's got a dent in it. That can't be good. So what am I gonna? Yeah, they look. Anyway, okay. Why does that have a? I hear something. I hear something. All right, here's the fuel inlet. Spring works. Let's see if I can read this number. It looks like 130. Come here. Maybe that's 130. And we have to take this apart, don't we? Okay, I went and this thing just screwed out, so gotta clean that. This, what did I say? 8. It's not too bad. It's not terrible. Obviously needs cleaning, but that doesn't fit on there just right. Let's try an 11. No. I probably shouldn't do this. I did. Somebody probably took that off. Gasket. Probably shouldn't have done that. Let me get that off. Okay, I got it out. I put it in there. Take this. We'll get the small one of these. I'm not sure why this first one over here is so clean. I can see a little light through this, but you know, it needs cleaning. And obviously on these two, I can't take these idle control out till I take it apart. So let's go to cylinder 1. And see how that's doing. Why is that one clean and the other ones are not? Somebody must have cleaned this. Why is that red? Wow, that looks changed. Okay, anyway, let's see what I can do here. Take this. That was easy. All right, what's this say? These look a little bit better, but they look like they're concaved a little bit. Both of those. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. What about this number, cylinder 3? One of them, yeah. That scares me. What about cylinder 4? Cylinder 4 is pretty flat. I think we have some issues here. So we'll take this. That works. There's a spring in there. That's a rubber tip. Are these other ones rubber tipped? Yeah, those are rubber tipped. I don't know if that's good or bad. I would think good. All right, let's get these. Let's get this out. Is this gonna fit? Yes. Wow. There we go. There's the gasket on there. This up. That was super loose. Little bit of light through there. Well, I'm taking the whole thing out again. This one looks like it's been changed. It's Honda. But this focuses, I think. Come on, focus. It says 130. So I think I'll get them cleaned. I bet you they're all 130. But this one looks a little different than the other ones. And again, I gotta break that off. See what happens here. See if I can wreck it. Got it. All right, got that. Those feet all look good. Be nice if these, I'm not going to replate everything, but that needs replating. That would be nice if that was replated. I'm going to take this idle thing off, idle screw mixture, try not to lose the spring. There's a spring in there, right there. So try to get that out without breaking too much. Got it. Just try not to break the legs. Let's try to get this out. Yeah, I had that Honda 350F. I had that for probably, I'm going to guess 2 years, maybe longer. And the only thing it needed was the carbs to be cleaned. And I was like petrified. I go, this will be a nightmare. I can't do it. But then I talked to a guy, he goes, 350F, carbs, nothing to it. Yeah, you just do it. And so he gave me a little bit of confidence, so I did it, and really, there wasn't very much to it. So anyway, all right, now, yes, I know these carbs go in a certain position. Because of, you know, these have to, between 1 and 2 cylinder. This is the fuel, you know, I believe that's where the fuel goes in, and same way over here, that's where the fuel goes in. Obviously, there's nothing there. So, I don't want to take these, I don't want to take these off. I don't have to. Those look far from perfect. But on here, you put these down. Whoop, not up, down. And then air can get in there. I don't know how you're supposed to start it. I mean, if I would think it would run with the choke closed that much, just because this opens. But I got to read the instructions how to start one. All right, now you want to take this apart, don't you? It looks like a number 3. Phillips. All right, I'm just taking these, and there seem to be, this is an impact wrench, but I've got a number 3. I don't know if that's, anyway, but I'm not hitting it with the hammer. They do this one, I don't know. Yep, let's try this one. They're just popping off, they're not. As I talk, that one won't do it. This one's over here. That over, this over. Oh, wow. Got that. Let's go back to this one. Got him. All right. So. Got all those. Got them loose. Let me just take one off at a time. See what happens. Just take this. See, I don't think it really matters. Okay, here's number 4. It's not good. I'll put it in 4, but how can that matter? I just can't imagine any of this. I would think you could mix up all this. Well, I don't. All right.
Let's see what happens. Well, you know what I didn't do? I didn't take these things off. Maybe I should do that. But anyway, hold on. Let's pull this apart. Oh. This is all got to come off first. I thought that was just, obviously I wasn't looking right. This whole thing's got to come off because it's got to slide. All right, we'll do it. That's the only way we're going to do it. I didn't want to do this, but I can see problems if I don't. What that Honda 350F has is an push-pull. It has two springs, one to close it, one not to close it, or to open it. This one doesn't. This one looks like it just has a spring. Just has these springs for return. Which seems like that makes it a little bit simpler, although the other one wasn't very complicated. Don't look terrible. Aren't perfect. This should just come off, I think. Flat side goes up if I remember right. Well, that is very light. That's aluminum. So I could see, I don't see any breaks in it. There are no cracks. But it does look bent. I can't. Okay, I can't believe that should be bent, but I'll try to figure that out. And now we have here, we have these to sink the carbs. You have these screws here, and these go into the vacuum area of the carburetor, not the front of the carb, but the back. Closest to the motor, and that gets vacuum, and you measure the vacuum. And you sink it. How do you sink it? You gotta turn something. Yeah, and I just can't believe how many times have I said this, that keeping this separate matters. I just. So if I there's a little washer on there too. So if I mix something up, I will not lose any sleep over it. Right. Now this should come apart. Yes, it does. This should come apart. Yes, it does. This should come out. Yes, it does. There's the spring. Look at how rusty that is. Gotta do something with that. Got the spring. This has little O-rings on it. And I forget the size it says, but we're going to have to replace that. Let's put those with there. Take this one out. What is this, number cylinder 2? Is that right? Yeah. There's the spring. It goes into. And these things, I think these are vents. There's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these will come out. Okay, I think I have to clean them. All right, I don't know if I'm gonna, I probably should take these off. Maybe I will. Got a little cotter pin. I don't know if you can see that. Am I just doing this for nothing? I don't know. It's got a little tiny cotter pin. right here, which I'm trying to get out, which I just broke. Come on, get out. There you go. So you take this out. I want to just put this, I should have another container. Put that there. Put that there. Those are tiny cotter pins. Whoa! Tiny little baby cotter pins. Stand. All right. I didn't want to do that. Little turnbuckle to adjust them. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that was the best thing because now we can adjust that choke. Now we can adjust. See how that goes down? So I guess it's got to go down probably all the way like that, or so I can adjust all of them. I think I'm going to take that out. Don't know why. Just clean it. Just clean it. Just a little air hole. Oh, here's a screw right here I didn't take out. I think that's how you adjust them. Oh, well, let's don't get these goofed up now. And you know what I think on these? I think these are very fine. And I've read that, well, you turn them in, count how many rotations, so you know where to set it when you put it back together. I think it's a big mistake. I think take this thing out, because if you turn it in, that tip is so fine it jams into the hole, breaks off, you can't get it out. So let's just take that out. Let's see what happens. Not a good screwdriver. Let's put this over here. Let's clean up a minute here. This over here. This over here. All right, this is number 4. So this works. That's a little loose. That's too wide. So let's try this one. Ooh. I think that's it. 26. Wow, that was tight. Up. So that comes out. And I'm sure there's a spring. I'm kind of sure there's a spring in there. Oh, these are not exactly what I thought they were. Come on, focus. These see there how they're flatter? So that's good. Then these can't break in there. Sometimes they're like a needle, and that just that. So this is good. Okay, so that goes to, whoa, what about the spring? Let me see if I can find the spring. Yeah. This is like upside down. See, there's a spring in there. So here's the spring. This goes in there. And this is what when you sink the carbs, this is what, I believe this is what you have to turn to sink those carbs, I believe, if I remember right. So we'll do all, put those four in there. Got that. Let's see if I can do number cylinder 2. That was a little looser. Oh, quite dirty. Goes into 2. So I know this is 1 because this has the handle on it. This is 2 because come on, focus. This is 2 because this goes that direction. This is 3. Because the air bleed screw goes to the right and it doesn't have one of these. Ooh, no, that's a little sticky. This one we might have to play with. I'm not quite sure why that's so sticky. Okay, well, we'll work on that. Did I take that out? Yes. I threw that in here, yes. Let's do the last one. Let me wide track this. This has got to be 4. Yeah, and this just fits right in there, so you're not gonna rut that tip. Very dirty. That goes in 1. All right. Oh, no, 3 I didn't do yet. I was looking for that. 3 I didn't do. Yeah, I don't remember doing 3. Isn't semi-frustrating? Well, anyway, I don't know why it doesn't focus. Here's 3. I'll take that out. That one's pretty clean. I'm a little surprised. Not surprised it doesn't focus. That's clean. Okay. Put that in group 3. Now we got them all apart. I'll do this a bit wider angle. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. We got this all apart. I mean, I didn't take this. Let's see how this works. The choke. Oh, nice. So the 4 works nice. Three doesn't work very well. Something's... That sticks. We might have to take this one apart. I don't know. That's 3. Remember that. That was 2. Oh, 2's not bad. Looks like it gets caught. We're gonna have to, let's just clean it, see what happens, if it works better. Other 3 work better. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do now is, you don't wanna watch me clean this. So let me clean it and then get things organized. I'm gonna have to get some O-rings. Try it at the hardware store maybe, I don't know. So let's see what happens. Okay, let me clean this, I'll be back. I started cleaning these and I started with number 3 here and it turned out pretty good, but it didn't go as easy as I thought. The inside, or this, was not quite as bad as this, and I used carb cleaner and it didn't really take it out too well. So what I did, I went and got some soda and put it in my sandblast cabinet, and I just touched this, and I think it did just a great job. I think it doesn't, just left everything. So I didn't do anything on the outside, or I didn't do it in here, just here. But then I went back on carb 4 and I just touched this a little bit. That made it better. And then I thought, well, hey, what about this metal here? So I hit this metal with the soda, and I tell you what, that worked out, I thought, pretty good. It made it a little bit cleaner than I wanted to. And then all you have to do, from what I read, is is that soda is water soluble. I just put it in water, blow it off, and it turned out pretty good. The bottom of 3 came out like that. I haven't done this one. Remember, this Carb 4 was the cleanest, but I'll touch that. These were in there like somebody like super glued them in there, so that was difficult. And then what I think I'm going to go back and hit this metal here. Try not to hit this too much, but because I want some patina on there. But then what I do, and I did it to this one, and I do it on all my carbs when after I'm all done with them. I take some of this Houdini, and what this stuff is, it's for door locks. Cleans all my my locks and deadbolts and all the key things, padlocks. This really does a nice job. So I use this. I just spray it on, and it dries, but it really cleans quite well. Leaves the film, and this was a sticky one, and this just works really, really, really good now. Good or well, I don't know. This one I didn't do yet, and just a little bit, just a hair harder. So when I'm sure I have this where I want it, I'll put some of that spray lube. It dries, and I don't know, seems to work okay. Also, about the other parts, what I do is I take these little strainers. I don't know if I'll put this in there. I won't put that in there. But I put these in the strainer, and then I have ultrasonic, a small ultrasonic cleaning machine. So I'll put, that's 4, I'll put that in there. Then I have 3, I'll put 2 in at a time. And these are just for drains. And so you just take this stuff. Try not to lose too much. It's got stuff in it. I think I'm gonna get new ones, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so I will take these and I'll put them in an ultrasonic cleaner. I use water and Simple Green, but you have to watch it. This is not so bad, but if you're doing some pot metal, and I've used I've cleaned pot metal with like Pine Sol. That stuff dissolves pot metal, at least in my experience. You can't leave that in there very long, and it will dissolve this. Or it'll wreck all the threads. So you got to be careful what you're using. This is metal. Most of this is metal. Not pot metal, but steel or brass. And so we're not gonna. I can't imagine having a problem. We could probably leave this in for a day, and it would be all okay. But I didn't clean this out with carb cleaner. I probably should. Maybe I will. And then put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. So I'll probably spray this, go spray it, put it in the carb cleaner for a while, or the ultrasonic cleaner, and then see what happens. So I'm still in the process of cleaning. But I just wanted to catch you up what was going on. Okay. Okay, we cleaned carburetors 3 and 4. 4 was pretty well cleaned. It wasn't bad, but we did some cleaning on that. On the inside here, well, on the whole thing, we did I did some soda blasting, and I really thought it turned out pretty good. Specifically for this metal, I didn't want to take the plating off of it, and I kind of wanted it to still look gold. So I soda blast this, not on the inside, but everything seems to work pretty good. There's the choke. Works good. So now we have to put it back together. So that's the job. We've got a few problems though, which we have to deal with. So I'm going to try to put 3 and 4 back together as much as I can, so I don't lose parts. So we'll try that, and we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Let's get this. I don't know how to do this. So there's 4. Let's try 4. Put it together a little bit. So this was the cleanest one. Seems to work okay. So what we have to do, I think the first thing we'll do, well, what we did do, we cleaned the idle set screw. I soda blasted this, then put them in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I put a little acid on them, kind of make them rust resistant, because these are steel, some kind of steel, and the ones that aren't cleaned, they're all rusty. And so the ones that are clean, I don't want them to rust again. So if you put just a real light acid, I use it's called Fix, P-H-I-X. Put that on there, and it prevents it from rusting, especially if it's inside a little, you know. I'm not going to take this out in the rain, I don't believe, so it should stay like that. Okay, now, well, what's the problem? Well, first of all, we have 2 springs that I thought were identical. Well, they're not identical. So what I did is I took my trusty calipers. Let's turn these on, and I measured them. And this one seems like a funny way to do this, but is about 8.7. It varies because it's obviously it's a spring, but like 8.7, 8.6, 8.7. And this one is 8, a little less than 8. So they're different lengths. But I think the big one probably goes on here. So that seems, what about the diameter? I don't know if I measured the diameter. The diameter here on the big one, 4.5. On the little one, 4.5. Same diameter. So I'm going to take the big one. Let's put this on so I don't get these in the stiffer. You can tell it's stiffer. And we'll put that on first. It goes. Doesn't go there because there's no threads. It goes there. So I'm not going to put any lubricant on there. And then you can see in here it comes through right there and it stops. I think you can see that. So you can see I'm going to back it out most of the way. There we go. Okay, I got one thing on. So I think that's how it goes. Guessing a little bit, but let's try that. Well, let's put, I think they call this an emulsifying tube. So we're going to put that in there. Again, I lubed everything up with this Houdini stuff. I like it. I went steelhead fishing over the weekend, so I forget how everything goes back together. I can't even remember what happened this morning, so we'll put this tube on here, tighten that up, not too much, but you know, got that. Now, another problem is the main jet. This main jet says 130. I don't know if you can see that. It kind of doesn't matter, but it says 130. And I did some reading. I don't think that's correct. I think what came with this was a 115, maybe 120. I'm not sure, but I think a 115. But for right now, let's put the 130 back in. Again, I use my fancy smancy screwdriver, but I don't know why, because this is all beat up. Somebody before me switched that and used not a fancy smancy screwdriver. So I'll put that in, snug that up. All right, might change that. I might change that before we're all done. I have to do some more reading. So I've got that. Okay, what else can we do? Let's put this, I don't know what they call this, slow idle jet, pilot jet, I don't know. But on here, I go, there's no markings. Well, when you look on here, yes, there are markings, and it says 40 on there. And when I did my reading, I think this is the correct one. So we'll put that on there. I think I have to switch my tip to my screwdriver, so let's switch my tip. I forget which one it was. Oh, I have 3 of them, so. That one. Don't know if that's the one I used before, but I'm going to use that. Take that, we'll tighten that up. No, this one. Just snug that up. And then let's talk about that slow. I'll get the one in Carburetor 3. There is a little, you'll never see it, a little tiny hole in there, and it was very difficult to clean. Finally, I took this, I've got these, and I took the little one, the smallest one went through there, and then the second one cleaned it out okay. I hope I didn't enlarge it, but it seemed like the second one was the one to use. So finally I got, those have to be clean. They're just a small amount of gas and air go through there. I think air, but so make sure that's clean, but don't take a drill bit. You don't want that any bigger than it is. Don't take drill bits and use that. I used the ultrasonic cleaner, and I did have to use it. I just couldn't get it, so I did have to use those. But anyway, so okay, got that. Now what are we going to do? Let's put this. We can put this aluminum. This is to sink it. This goes in right here, I believe. We'll put that here. Change my carburetor or my screw. I don't know. Let's see what that does. A little small. There, that's the one. Okay. Take this, snug that up. When we sink these, we're going to have to, we put a little brass thing in here. Okay, aluminum. That doesn't look right. But then, I tell you what, on this one, why is there aluminum washer? I don't know. Seems pretty weird to have an aluminum washer on there. But all four of them, they have it, so I'll leave it on for right now. But this I had to heat up. Yeah, I did that. I'm sorry, but it was. And then I tried to clean it up a little bit. I should get a new one, and I have to read up about that washer. Why is there aluminum washer? Well, maybe because the float bowl is aluminum. But I tell you what, it was everything I could do to get that out, and you don't want to wreck anything. But I finally got it out. But we might replace that. Doesn't look very good. They're not very expensive. So we're going to snug that up. Just for right now, put stuff back together. So we don't lose too much. All right, snugged it up. Got it. Yay! All right. Make sure that's okay. So we're all set there, and that was pretty. I did soda blast that. It came out really. I like that. So far I'm a believer. Okay, so we got that. Now what else? Let's put. This is an air, I don't know what you call it, air bleed screw, but at low, I think what this does, I shouldn't say because I'm not positive, but I think at low speeds it adjusts the airflow, maybe at all speeds, but this goes right here. There's a spring that, remember, we're going to put the smaller spring in there, it just seems to fit, and this goes in here. And on some carburetors, and I told you this before, you see how this one's nice. It's nice and fat, and it's got a flat tip on it. Some of them are hollow. But on some carburetors, this is like a needle. And, you read some stuff, it says, well, so you know where to start. Lightly put this in until it stops and back out. Bad idea. Just take this out, because if you have one that is a needle and you just seat it, sometimes it gets stuck in that hole, and there you wreck the carburetor. You can't, sometimes you can get it out if you're lucky and if you heat it, and sometimes if you use the right swear words, it'll go okay. But anyway, so you do this. I think, I have no idea, I didn't read. Let's just do this. Let's do this 1.5 out. Why? Just don't know. Just gonna do it 1.5 out. So take this. Do not force this. There, it seats. So we're going to do 1.5. So there's a half, there's 1, there's 1.5 about. We'll try that. Okay, and I'll do some more reading. Just trying to get it together. I should write that down. Or forget. Anyway, okay, so we're there. All right, now let's put the float. Oh, big problems with the float. So I was cleaning this, and this one's okay. No, I'd shake it, nothing in there, all right. So that one I think's good, but this one had gas in it. And then I said, well, that's no good, so I took it to the soda blaster, and here you can see it's wet. And I wish I knew how to focus. It's wet, and there's a little hole in it right there. And this is corroded. How did that corrode like that? But that's a little bit of a problem. So this one, you know, could I repair that? Could I solder that a little bit? Maybe. I don't know. These things, this is indented. Why is that indented like that? I don't know. This one is just a little bit, but not much. That's pretty flat. So I have a feeling this is, I don't know. I think it might be toast. If this was like a dirt bike or something, I would try to fix that, you know, if I wasn't going to go on the road or anything. But I think I'm going to get new. I'm going to replace that. They're a little bit expensive, so. But I don't know. I think I might replace instead of. I think I could fix it, and yeah, it kind of probably would work. But it all drained out. So, but that's. You know, if there's one hole in there, you know, it's got to get another. I don't know. Doesn't sound good to me. So, you know what I'm going to do? Let me go. Since I'm going to replace these, let me go and soda blast this. I'll show you the difference. Okay, give me a minute here. Let me shut this off. We'll see what happens. Okay. And we're back, and you can see how that cleans it up. I don't know if that does it any good. Seemed to dent this a little bit. It didn't have a lot of pressure on it, but I don't know. It's probably not the thing to do with these. They're pretty flimsy, but these are, you know, I think that's corroded. You know, I cleaned it up after I soda blasted it, but it's probably not the thing to do on this thing. So, but I think this is a good one. I don't think it leaks, but I'm going to put it in anyway, just so I get it. You know, just so I don't know why. I'm going to put it in anyway. So now, but what we have to do, we have to put this seat in. So we're going to put that washer on here. Put that in here. I cleaned this up real good. Goes in there. Switch my driver. I think this fits here. Snug that up pretty good. Now, there's a pin that goes through here, and I cleaned this pin up already. This should just float in here like that. That should go in and out. Should float. And what holds that in this bowl, there are two tabs here. I don't know if I call them tabs, but there, and they hold that pin centered right there. I don't know if you can. See it right there and right there. And they hold that pin in there, so. But now you've got to put the needle in there. Get out. And everything works, and I tried to, there's a rubber end of this, and that looks like it's in, come on, that looks like it's in good shape. And I took this and just put just a little bit of pressure on that, and air wouldn't go through it. So I'm going to try it. So you put that in there. And you put this in here. Come on. Go. All right. Ooh. And that little spring, there's a little spring in that seat. And this one, that would probably be fine. All right, what am I forgetting? I don't see any parts left over. So now I'll just put this back. Oh, where's my gasket? All right. So I have some extra parts here I probably should have used, but I like using the original. So that, ooh, fancy, that's a nice gasket. All right, I'll put this on here. Don't put anything on there. Then, and see that? And you have to set this. There's a gauge, which I don't have. Maybe I'll order that gauge. Usually, I guess, seems to work out. This is, I think, usually how I do it, and it's just, I have it. When it's just touching, I have it parallel. That seems to be up too much. It should. My guess, it should be more like that. About right there. So I don't think it's set right, but we'll play with that later. So this goes on here. So, and this, come here. It goes there, I think. It goes there. That snaps up. That looks good. And you got the choke, seems to work okay. All right. Well, what about the slide? Well, I have these slides over here. I'm going to work on these just a little bit later, and I think these are correct because this is what is it, 5506, and I think if I read right, there should be two different sizes, a smaller one and a longer one. So I think 2 and 3 are the 2 and 3 are the short ones, 1 and 4 are the long ones, because I think the later ones had two different sizes. So, but we've got, I want to take this out. I got to clean this. I want to clean these tops. But I'm going to do that, and this doesn't look good. Anyway, so I'm going to do that a little bit later. But a problem I have on that is this gasket. You know, when I go in the book, it says it's supposed to have a gasket. This did not come with, obviously, there are no gaskets on here. Why? I'm not sure. But there are no gaskets. But they sent, for a KO, they sent this gasket. It's not, this should be offset. That hole should be offset. And it's not. So I think the gasket is wrong, so I don't know, I gotta do some figuring out. I think it takes a gasket. I think I have the wrong gasket, so we'll figure it out. Don't know. All right, so we got this one. So we'll do the same thing with number 3, but on number 3, this was like this green one, and I even with carb cleaner I couldn't get it out. So that's why I did soda blast. I just this is not clean. What's going on here? So I did that, and then I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner to make sure there wasn't any soda left, and then I sprayed it with that Houdini stuff. So and then I obviously used compressed air, made sure everything was free. So, but when I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, I had a little simple green in it, and that darkened this up a little bit. I think on number 1 and 2, I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm just going to put just a tablespoon or 2 of it in there. I probably have a quarter of it now, but just mostly water. It heats it up, so hot water and just a little tiny simple green. So I don't like how it darkened that up a little bit. So we're going to try not to do that on 1 and 2. But all right, we'll put this together. You can see the difference. This is 2, but you can see the difference. You know, quite a bit of difference. And you know, it's clean up pretty good. They're a little stiff. They're not, you know, they're not terrible. I've seen worse. They're not terrible, but we'll clean those up. I'll put them back together. I think in here, I gotta clean these up too to put it all back together. Need new O-rings. I was a little worried about getting those, but I think in my kits, it comes with O-rings, so try to put that together, put everything together, and see how it goes. But I think just putting one together, that's all you need to, you know. You don't want to watch 3 more of them, so I'll shut it off, and then when something interesting is coming along, I'll turn it on. But yes, we do have something interesting. I can't find it. I got my painted parts back. I think they're really nice, and I brought this because I can put the front in, but this is ruby red. I think it turned out really nice, and the tank, perfect. So with these back, now I can put the front end together. So I brought these down, but I'm gonna work on the carburetors first. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. You know, I will show you the tanks later, the tanks and the other parts, but that turned out really good. The black parts. Hold on. The black parts turned out, I think, really well. You know, there's just a few of them, but you get an idea. So I'll be able to put some things together, and then I'll show you how that goes. Okay, thanks. I took the slides apart today. I took them off the 4 ends. There are 2 short ones and 2 long ones here, but I took them off. Just going to clean them. Well, I put these in. I wanted to show you something that you really need to know. These are the idle screws, I believe that's what you call them, but there's a little T mark on here. I don't know if you can see that, but on all of them there's a little mark right there, and then there's a line that's cast in the
carburetor, and that has to line up, and all four of them have it. All of these, all four, you can see that, but they have a little T mark. You know, let me take one of these out. Maybe you can see it, but there's a spring in there, so we'll try not to lose that spring. I don't know if that's in focus or not, but there's a little mark on there. If you can see that. And so, and then the spring's in there. Then you put that in there. You screw that in until that T mark where are you? There you are. Lines up. I think I have these one off. But you line that up till the T mark lines up. Then, I don't know if you remember, these had different numbers on them. These are, I believe these were 154s. (154, 154). These are 153s. So there are right and left side. So you put these in. There's a right and left side. If you, and I'll show you. Let's put these in. And then I said, well, how do I double check that? So it's pretty, what I did, I just got a drill that fits this size right here. I put this in the bottom, and that just barely touches. And then this barely touches. I mean, they're right on. This one barely touches. That one barely touches. If you have this at an angle, it's going to be a little goofy, but that goes straight in. It just drags just a hair, drags just a hair. Just so, and it's a little bit surprising these are so accurate. I mean, just by a little mark. So, wanted to show you that. Oops, I moved this. And there's a left and right of these, so be careful. I have to get a couple of smaller. I don't have any of these small cotter pins, but I adjusted these. You just adjust these by length. You know, I did these two, and then did the middle one last. But if you can see this, when you put the choke on, it goes like so, and they all go down. I looked through it at the light, and they all go down pretty exactly the same. So that's really working quite nice. So got that on. I kind of figured out how this worked. And also these I don't know, they call them air screws, air bleed screws, but those are 1 out. I set them 1.5. I was guessing. I did some reading. Those are supposed to be 1 out. So I did those 1 out. So now I'm going to do is just clean everything up. I've got to order some parts, and then I think I'm going to go with 115 main jets. These are 130. I think I'm on I'm a little, I don't know, 120 would be okay also, but I think I might go with 115 from just the reading I did. So I'm just going to clean this up, and I'm going to try, and this is pretty rough right there. I'm going to do some soda blasting on that, see if that cleans that up. And this whole thing's a little rough. I'm going to order some new boots. Where's that one boot? See, this boot is really, it's no good. So I ordering some new boots. I'm going to try to use this because I want to use all the original stuff. This is all
That's all pitted really. That should be re-chromed or a new one or something, I don't know what. But I'm going to use just the original, what I think is the original that came, you know, when I bought it. So we're just going to clean that up. Oh, I should have brought you the air box. Very pretty. But anyway, clean this up. You got to wait for some parts and then put it all together. All right, thanks. And there's one more thing. If you don't have these marks on these adjustments here, what you can do, you just get a wire. Doesn't matter how thick the wire is, but get them kind of long, or a piece of dowel rod. It doesn't matter. But they have to. This is really too short, but you'll get an idea what I'm going to do. I'll take the choke off, and you put one in each. Put one here, in here, in here, and here, and that sticks out kind of like that. Get them all nice and even, and then to adjust. How do you know where these should be? Well, you have to adjust them. This one, it's marked, but some of them aren't marked. So if you watch this and you watch, I don't know what the best way to do this is. It's got to be this way. But if you move this up, this will go up and down. See how, I don't know if you can see it, but it goes up and down. It's a little bit short. Wood ones work good. But that goes up and down. And then you have to look at all four and get those all four going up and down at the same time. And one's not higher than the other. One doesn't start before the other. So when this one starts moving down, they all have to start moving down at the same time. I wish there was a better way to do that. I don't know how. Maybe this way? But on here, it looks like we don't have, see how that moves? Looks like we're not going to do that because I have those marks. But if you don't have those marks, you got to get some kind of indicator and you'll be fine. Okay, bye.